when you get the opportunity to talk to the person who you're portraying, there's a lot going on, You want to see if you can talk like him, walk like him. Are you going to be physically like him? So when I spoke to him, the times that I did, I was really being technical in my approach to acting and just trying to see what I can pull from these moments around him that I can actually put on into my performance.
Shooting Stars premieres on Peacock June 2nd. So how does this film stand out from other basketball-based movies?
Well, it stands out, number one, it's a biopic, right?
Yeah.
And so it stands out as it is a biopic, and also it's about a very prevalent human being who's historical and his evolution. So you get to see his evolution or see him evolve into the person we know now, right? So this gives us insight into LeBron James and his course. So all of the people involved, his friends, the coach, it's great for us to engage with all of that and see this historical person before he was even talked about, right? So, and it's also a period piece. It takes us into the nostalgia of that era as well. So, there's no social media. Kids ain't running around with their phones and stuff like that. They're actually, you almost have to show a period piece so kids ain't on their phones.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. You play Coach Drew Joyce. So how would you best describe him, since he's kind of like not just a coach, but he's a mentor and a father figure to LeBron and his teammates?
Well, I mean, it's just that, not every coach is a father figure. A lot of coaches are ego driven, where they have a task at hand and, they're very, I would like to say paint by number, we do this on yellow on number 2, red on number 5. They just sort of go by in motion, right? Coach Drew really had genuine compassion for circumstances of all the kids involved. And at the same time, he may have slacked off in his fatherliness, right? Because his son is on the team. So like I was saying, I've coached my kids before. It's difficult not to be biased, right? And then it's one thing to be biased, it's another to see some kid that's awesomely better, incredibly better than everybody else. You always want to see your kid, you want your kid to be that kid. Basically, if you got a kid and he's on a team, you want him to be the best, period, on the team. And so, it shines the light on all that kind of stuff and shows you the dynamic of Coach Drew balancing all those things out, right? And still figuring out, man, I need to be there for my kid, like a dad. I'm a father still, right? To my growing son, I'm a father. So, finding that is important. I hope we portrayed that properly in the film.
Yeah, and you talked about how Shooting Stars is a period piece, takes you back to the 90s, early 2000s, also talks about LeBron James and, basically his teammates becoming one of the best high school teams in the country. Were those things, along with portraying a coach like Drew Joyce, drew you to this movie?
Yes, really all of the above, having something to do with LeBron is always, obviously that's a big deal, and to tell his story is a big deal. I also worked with Chris before and Caleb. We did the New Edition biopic. So it was a reunion. It made all of this very comfortable, and it just made this ride a quick, fun ride to take. And
Absolutely. And did you get a chance to, talk to Drew Joyce a little bit, talk about, just his history? And if so, what are some of the things you learned from when talking to him?
I did get the chance to talk to Coach. When I talk, I've done a lot of bio things, right? So biopics and television and film. And when you get the opportunity to talk to the person who you're portraying, there's a lot going on, You want to see if you can talk like him, walk like him. Are you going to be physically like him? So when I spoke to him, the times that I did, I was really being technical in my approach to acting and just trying to see what I can pull from these moments around him that I can actually put on into my performance, my portrayal, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very technical thing that I'm doing if I'm talking to you, and I know I have to go on and later portray you. So but what I recognize from him is how right away you realize of Coach Drew that he is man, it's difficult to say. I guess
Yeah,
he's a spirited person. He's a great spirit. Very positive energy. Type of person you couldn't really imagine like cursing out somebody or fighting. Even though he was like that, for sure. But you
yeah,
couldn't imagine it at the stages that that we portray in the script, right? And at that time in his life, very compassionate person and passionate, and like that mentoring ability that he had was wonderful, especially sprinkling in his fatherliness to the entire group, a little bit maybe at the expense of his own son until he figured it out. So yeah,
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really
thank
do
you.
appreciate it, and continued success to you.